Hey guys, what is happening? Today we are going to be solving simple proportions, okay? And we'll start off with easy stuff like this. We're just going to solve for x. So go ahead and copy this down and we'll get going. All right, so now there is a way that I'm really tempted to show you how to do this. Once you're really good at this and you can wrap your head around it, that's cool. Go ahead and do this. For the most part, the way I do it when I see this stuff, I say, okay, look, 3 times what gives you 18? Well, 3 times 6 gives you 18. So all you have to do is say 2 times 6, that equals 12. X equals 12. Okay, we could do it over here. 5 times what gives you 25? 5 times 5 gives you 25. So 2 times 5 gives you 10, and x is 10. Okay, that's kind of the easy, cheesy way to do it. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you one method that will work no matter what problems we're trying to solve, okay? As long as you get x up here in this top left corner, I think you're going to be good, all right? So watch this. If you have x up in the top left corner, what you're going to do is multiply that 18 to the other side. So you get this. You get x equals 18 times 2/3, okay? All right, and so now we have x solved for it's by itself. And now all you have to do, here's the pro way to do it. Do the division first. What's 18 divided by 3? Okay, that's 6. And then multiply the 6 times 2, you get 12. So x equals 12, just like I told you guys. Okay? All right, let's try this one over here. The x is on the top left. That's cool. Get that 25 over to the other side. So x equals, and basically all I'm doing really is multiplying by 25. They cancel, and I multiply this side by 25. Okay? So watch this. I have my 25 times 2/5. Okay? And now 25 divided by 5, what is that? That's 5. And 5 times 2 is 10, so x equals 10, just like we said. Okay? So there are a lot of different ways you could go about doing this, but I just want to show you the basic setup, okay? Because what I'm going to show you now, part B, is this. I'm going to have you find the missing side, okay? So find the missing side. And it's going to look really confusing, okay? So I'm just warning you, okay? All right, so I have figure, okay? So figure ABCD is dilated, oh boy, dilated by a scale factor of 3/4, 2/3, okay, to form figure A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime, okay? All right. And we are going to find A prime, D prime. Now see, this looks insane, right? You're like, wait, what? Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Okay, I'm going to show you a method that just kind of always works. As long as you got your x in the top left corner. Okay, so here's what I have. I have this figure A, B, C, D. Okay, here's my figure A, B, C, D. Okay, and I'm telling you right now that side AD is 36, okay? All right, and it's going to be turning into this shape right here. It's going to be a dilation, okay? But now it's called A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime, okay? And the dilation is a scale factor of 2/3. So I'm just going to put this 2/3 here, okay? I'm multiplying this rectangle by a scale factor of 2/3, and I'm getting this figure right here, okay? And this figure, they want me to find A prime, D prime. That's this guy right here, okay? All right, well, all we have to do to find that, we know that if we take this side, 36, and multiply it by the scale factor of 2/3, we're going to get our x. Okay, this 36 multiplied by the 2/3 gives me this side. Notice how A to D matches up with A prime to D prime. Okay, so we know my x is going to equal, well, there's my 36 times the scale factor 2/3. Okay, and that is exactly what we have up here. Okay, we're always going to get this. X equals whatever number multiplied by the scale factor. Okay. All right, so let's do this. Do the division first. What's 36 divided by 3? Okay, well, you should know that. It's 12. And then multiply that 12 by 2, and you get 24. X equals 24. Okay, so this guy right here, side A prime D prime is 24. Okay. All right, let's find another missing side. Let's do another example, okay? Let's see. Figure, oops, let me write it down this way. Okay, so ABCD is dilated by 3/4 to form A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime, okay? Okay. And I want you to find, let's see, I want you to find side AD. This one's a little different. You have to pay close attention, okay? So watch this. Here's my first one, okay? Here's A, B, C, D. And this is going to multiply. A, B, C, D is dilated by 3/4. So I'm just going to put this here so you could see it, okay? And it forms this new one. Okay, forms the new one, A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime, okay? And I'm telling you right off the bat that this guy right here is 21. Okay, now I'm doing it different this time. You notice? They want us to find AD, okay? They want us to find AD. This time we know what A prime D prime is. Well, if you read this carefully, it says ABCD, that's this guy. It's dilated by 3/4 to form the new one, this guy right here. So we're trying to figure out this guy, okay? I'll put an X here so we keep it consistent, okay? So here's my X, all right? Well, I know that if I multiply this guy by the 3/4, I get this guy. Notice over here, if I multiply this guy by the 2/3, I get this guy. It's always going in this direction, right? Okay. Notice what we have. We have the 36 times the 2/3, that equals the X. 36 times 2/3 equals the X. I just wrote it backwards. This time, we have the X times the 3/4 equals 21, so that's what you're going to write. X times 3/4 equals 21, okay? But remember, we always want that X by itself. Okay, this time you can't divide X by 4 and then multiply the result by 3. We want to move this guy over to that side. Does anybody remember what to do to get the fraction over to the other side? You can't subtract it. Okay, you have to multiply by the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 3/4 is 4/3. Okay, and now multiply that over here, 4/3. Okay, these cancel now. And so X equals, all right, 21 divided by 3. That's right, it's 7. 7 times 4 is 28, and we're done. Okay? That's how you do it. All right, so was that part B? Let's do part C. All right, and now we have something that looks like this, okay? Triangle. FGH is a dilation of triangle IJK. Okay. Find the missing side. Okay. So all that means is it's a dilation. It just means it gets bigger or smaller. Think about your eye. You know how your eye dilates if you shine light into it? Okay, it's the same thing. That little pupil in your eye is going to get bigger, right? It's not going to change shape. It just gets bigger or smaller. That's what a dilation does, okay? So the shape stays exactly the same. That's a dilation. All right, so I'll go ahead and draw my triangle here. Here's my triangle. This is F, G, H, okay? And I know that this side is 3.1 and this side is 4, okay? And then I have a new triangle here, okay? And the new triangle is I, J, K, all right? And I know that this side is 8, okay? But this side is the missing side. That's the one we want, okay? And now one thing you want to do is match up. It says FG is a dilation of IJ. So FG matches up with IJ. Okay, one thing you always want to do is just double check which sides match up with which sides. GH, right, matches up with JK. So GH, the 4, matches up with JK, the 8. So I know the 4 and the 8 go together, and that means the 3.1 and the X go together. So it's something just to think about, okay? Most of the time you can see that they match up, okay? But not always, okay? All right, so here we go. We know that the X, okay, over something, right, is going to equal something else over something else, right? We always want that X up in the top left corner, okay? So what does that X match up with? What do you think it matches up with? Okay, now listen, there's really only one wrong answer, okay? If you say that the X matches up with the 4, that's completely wrong. You need to go back to school. Oh wait, you're in school. Okay, hopefully you'll learn something, so pay attention. Here we go. You can say that the X matches up with the 8, that's cool, or you can say that the X matches up with the 3.1. Any one of those is going to be fine. Me personally, I think it's best to say, okay, the X matches up with the 3.1. So that's what I'm going to put right here, 3.1. Okay? Okay, but again, you can say the X matches up with the 8 and put the 8 here, that's fine. The only thing you can't put is the 4. The X and the 4 are completely on opposite, they're completely different pages, okay? All right, so now look, we have the X matches with the 3.1. Now let's go back over here. Now we have the 8 matches with the 4, or corresponds, right? The X corresponds with the 3.1. The 8 corresponds with the 4. So I put the 8 corresponds with the 4. Okay? And now all you have to do is move that 3.1 over, right? Times by 3.1. Oops, 3.1 times by 3.1. Okay, so we get X equals 3.1 times 8 over 4. Now here's something tricky. I know normally I say, okay, do the division first. Well, 3.1 divided by 4, that doesn't really work. But if you look carefully, 8 divided by 4, what is that? That's right, it's 2. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So it's 3.1 times 2. So X equals 3.1 times 2 is 6.2. All right, so this guy right here is 6.2. All right, let's do some homework. See you guys in a second.